Retrying. Booted because I think so I'm rebooting here. I hope I'm back. Yeah, this is by the Italian. Hi, Melissa. This is by the Italian Pavilion, of course. You can tell by the barbershop poles, as I call. One of the lovely. This is one of the lovely areas along here. And during Flower and Garden, they really create a lot of flowers everywhere and stuff. It's really lovely. A lot of potted plants, especially. But they're there, better garden over there. Yeah, I guess I lost you guys, Kevin. I don't know how. Here's the thing I don't like about YouTube streams is they don't tell you. They don't say, "Oh, we lost them." You just say, "Oh, there's nobody watching anymore," and you say, "I guess something happened." So I rebooted, and we're back. Well, Italy, pretty area, especially here. So we move on to the American. It's America. This tour will feature all the countries around the world, but especially America. Okay. I love this. The scrim they put up is pretty funny while they're fixing up over there.
Yeah, he's all over the place. This way. That's on ours.
Mobility. It's like when a little kid has discovered mobility. Be back. Anyhow, I hope we're still back. All right. So anyhow, our flight keeps getting changed to later and later and later. Last time I looked, we were supposed to take off at 8:55 tonight. Last time I looked, it's at 10:16. So great. Can't change my ride because we set the time for it already. So we're going to be spending a lot more time at the airport but that's life. Got to get home, right? If I'm still on, can somebody tell me so? Because I got a feeling I'm losing people again. I'm losing people again. And I don't know what's going on here. Come on. And then that's when things start going awry. Good. Thank you, by the way, for the reply. Okay. I keep saying I'm going to eat at the Regal Eagle someday, and I never do. Because most of the time we're here at the food booths and eat somewhere else. So I've eaten there yet. So here we go. We are now approaching America. I probably told you before, but I'll never forget eating at the Chinese restaurant. And there was a table full of Americans sitting next to us, and the guy looked at the menu and looks at the waitress and says, "You got any American food here?" At a Chinese restaurant. was pretty funny. Just love, we're going to a Chinese restaurant. And yeah, that's right. We specialize in burgers and fries. I always laughed out loud. They were sitting like right next to us, So I tried to restrain myself. But it was pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. I like the building, but to be honest with you, the inside is nice. But I think the American Pavilion is fairly nondescript. They could do better. I mean, it's big. It's the central part of World Showcase. The building is nice enough. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something, I don't know. It's just kind of plain Jane, kind of like a burgers and fries, Plain Jane. It's okay. I love the show. It's great. I love the show there. I really do. And I love the museum in here. They really have some interesting displays sometimes. The Art of Disney displays they do in there. Really good stuff. But they had a presidential one once. That was great. I like that. And then, of course, the singers. Voice of America, I really like them too. But I like that. I don't know, but the atmosphere itself is just, to me, meh. It looks like a revolutionary style home built in the 20th century, It just doesn't lack something to me. But I like to complain because I'm old and cranky. I just think it could be better. It just doesn't have the character of many of the other pavilions here. That's all. Not to say it's a horrible effort, but just... All right. We move on because there was nothing of great interest to see in that pavilion. Okay, here's Japan now. Somebody told me I could find it. Yes, sir, I could see the dragon from here. What do you know? Why did I think it was in China? I don't know why I thought that. But anyhow, Japan Pavilion is another beauty. They have some very beautiful gardens that I've shown many times before, so I'm not going to spend much time there. But the Japanese pavilion has the most manicured bushes anywhere. They're out there cutting those little pieces away meticulously. That's what those miniature plant people do too. They're always pruning. There's people I've known that've been here, and I said, "Did you like the castle at Japan?" They say, "What castle?" I said, "That one." They don't even see it. They don't look at. They just don't look. They don't look for it. They look at these. They'll look at this, of course, because it's right up in front, and they'll look at that building, and that's it. And just keep walking, and never know that that's a castle, folks. Really, it is. It's got the big doorway and everything to prove it. It's really nice. Again, because I've done that many times before, and that's not my purpose today. It's topiaries and some of the gardens. I'm walking over to the one right now. Garden area and the dragon. Was that dramatic enough? Told you there's a dragon somewhere.
No, I mean, it's in a box and it's also wrapped.
See? Everything pruned. Pruning is, I swear, a national pastime in Japan. Anyhow, beautiful gardens. They are beautiful. The shapes are always very, very beautiful. I'm sure have some sort of significance too. But oh, these are kind of growing out a little bit. Oh. But generally speaking, well groomed and stuff. And after seeing the garden. Another topiary garden. And there's the aforementioned, well before we got here, dragon. There she be. This restaurant here at Takumi Thai, I've had a few people whose opinions I really trust say this is one of the best restaurants at Disney World. But you have to kind of like the menu. Not everybody likes that type of menu, but I do. So, look at this. A wind-operated Actually, look at it. It's like gravity. Water comes into that spout, and when it weighs enough on the end, it dumps the water down. It's kind of creative. See? Watch it, it keeps pouring in, and then when it reaches the enough to tilt, it tilts. Gravity takes over. This would be a great demonstration in a science class for gravity. I had a science teacher once who said, here's the principles of gravity. It's hard to go up, but easy to come down. So there you go. There's your lesson in gravity today. This is kind of cool. I like stuff like that. Silly little, as I call them, silly little science projects. It's the grain again. At least, usually I'll tell you what, on the Epcot walkway, people have an understanding of two-way traffic. Unlike all the other parks, it's just like anybody, you know, people swimming upstream all the time. But here, there's a definite concept of two-way traffic.
That's why I just asked. I just want to make sure.
Stay on your right. Stay on your right. The belly dancer's out. Oh, she's done. She's not a topiary, so I'm not gonna concentrate on her too much. No topiary her. Lovely lady, but that's. Oh, I have to say. They watch us, my streams know this is my favorite pavilion. However, not so much during the flowering gardens. They don't seem to do nearly as millions. I mean, they do some. Mostly flower bed here and there. And I'm not going to go all the way back. There might be something back there, but I'm getting pretty tired. So usually most of the topiaries are pretty evident right up front. So honestly, I don't think they have one anyhow. So. But it is a lovely pavilion. Beautiful pavilion. Here we go, another themed garden. Spice garden. I think it's very apropos that they're in Morocco with that, since Morocco has very interesting spice signatures. Yeah, that is very true. Chives, I love chives. Simplistic guy about chives, though. One of my favorite things is baked potato with sour cream and chives. I don't love fresh chives, but I love that. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Bay leaves. Well, probably all of them, but I'm not gonna take the test. Endive. There's the mint back there. The mint tea here in the restaurant is really good. By the way, if you're interested and you like mint, it's really good. Peppers. Yes. Ginger. I'm not a big ginger fan, sorry. Not one of my favorite spices. I'm sure it's somebody else's, which is good. Everybody has their favorites. Look at even the spices are in a garden, flowers too. Pretty neat. Boy, you can smell them though. It's just amazing. You can just smell them. So I misspoke, saying that they didn't do much. Here's the other side of Morocco, and this is where all the good stuff is, back over here. Of course, I told you, don't quote me, ever. Because for some reason or other, we have, at Morocco, Miss Piggy and Kermit. On the far end of Morocco, right next to the restaurant, to be honest with you, and right before France. We have Miss Piggy. This would be still considered Morocco here, wouldn't it? Or is it France? No, I think it's still Morocco here, yeah. And here's their topiary. See? Here we are. Lovely. I'm trying to figure the reasoning why Miss Piggy Kermit would be in Morocco. Well, maybe it is France. I don't know. They're right in between here, so it could be either, but I think they're still in Morocco here. But because France is right over there. Yeah, we'll see. All right, moving along. I'm getting all kinds of messages here from somebody.
I know, I'm going to take a picture so I can send it to Vina.
Okay, oh yeah. So here, at this place, Fresca, I had the Jamaican jerk chicken. The chicken was fine. It was basically a chicken leg, jerk spicing, which was good. What was great was the rice. It was outstanding. Usually the rice sides at these festivals are just some dried out stuff. The rice here is great. I like the rice better than I like the chicken. It was really good. Rice. So if you come here, just say, hey, can I just get the rice? And the chicken's okay though. It's not like it's bad. It's just jerk chicken. But I like jerk chicken, so I thought I'd try it. It was good. But the rice. It's all about the rice, people. All right. We're approaching final pavilion. And a favorite of many people, France. So I'm going to end here because I'm getting a whole mess of messages from family and friends, and I have to check them out. There's a flurry of them lately, so I have to check them out in a few minutes. So this is the last of the stream, probably. Family first, right? So I think it's just my checking about our time of arrival because they're picking us up at the airport and it keeps changing. They keep changing the boarding time on us. So. Well, what a surprise. The topiary here is Beauty and the Beast. Wow, shocker. An absolute shocking development here. I'll get a little closer as soon as the crowd clears. There's a huge crowd. I understand. That's a great photo op for people. Trust me, it's a great. This must be an influencer or something. Doing these silly. Look at. I'm really a model pose. Okay. Well, there they are. Dancing away. I mean, is there any young person that's not an influencer? It's just like, this is what they do, right? Influence, I guess. I don't know. I always wondered, how do you get paid for being an influencer? Anyhow, I'm on record of saying that France is a beautiful pavilion, but it is so busy. It's truly one of the busiest, especially since Ratatouille opened, but it always was a busy one. Because it's lovely. And they have some good restaurants here. And they got some great drinks over there. The wine booth with the slushies is great. This garden is always here, but they spruced it up a little bit, for sure. It's been freshly cut and trimmed, and it's lovely. And lovely flowers around it. This is always a very lovely area. Always busy. Always busy. As you can see. Jeff de France, I'm guessing, has got to be in Epcot. It's a hard reservation to get. And even then, you have to wait past your time usually because usually they fall behind rather quickly. Popularity of the place. And but the food's okay. Here's another shot. The guy who played the guy who played Lenny on the cop show on TV. What was that show? The cop show, but he was Lenny. A lot of people don't know. He was a huge Broadway guy. Huge Broadway guy. I mean, he was big on Broadway. And he can sing. People did not that watched him on TV. And the funny thing is, they always talked about having a musical version of it with him, and he just said, no, that's stupid. This is a cop show, not a musical. He always thought that was a stupid idea. But they wanted to do a show that featured him singing, and he said, nah, no thanks. And of course, the guy who played this character was the snobby guy on MASH. Major Winchester. And Lenny. And who also did the narration of Beauty and the Beast. Same guy. Did this character and the narrator. Same person. Beautiful area, indeed. I'm not going to go all the way back. I'll do a quick pan back here. I am on record of saying when they added Ratatouille, I was kind of worried. Thought they were going to wreck the whole atmosphere, but obviously they did a great job. The construction back there in the Ratatouille area is lovely. It stays with the theme of the rest of the resort of the pavilion. It's quite lovely, and good job Disney of preserving that atmosphere, because the atmosphere here is great. And if they were showing the movie, I would consider watching it, but they don't do that till later in the day, and I gotta go. I'm not gonna be here later in the day, so too bad. They do some sing along, I think, you right? So I don't do the movie anymore. Get the music. Law and Order. Absolutely right. Thank Law and Order, not the Law and Order that takes place in every other place in the world. The original Law and Order. Lenny, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. He was the big star on Broadway. Huge. What was the show he was in? A long-running musical on Broadway. Remember the kind of September, that show? Can't remember. Oh my God, I'm a theater person. I can't remember the name of that musical, but it ran a long time off Broadway. But he was the original musical. That's where he acquired his initial fame. So yeah, he was quite well known on Broadway. Well, he's a good actor too. Obviously, he did a nice job with Lenny and everything. He was a fine actor. But that being said,
Yeah, also their people.
swore there's no way that the guy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I proved it to him. No way. As if the guy that he played on, Law and Order was, you know. People always do that, don't they? They always think you're the same person in person as you are as the person you play, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And a couple I know from my past experiences are completely, play the nicest people on television are complete you-know-whats in person, and vice versa. Some of the guys are the most evil people in the world on television are some of the nicest people in person. Tis true. So anyhow, I'm going to end it here. I'm sorry, folks. I might be a little earlier than I expected to end. But we've gone a few hours, so I think that's feet are saying, enough, Charlie. Sit down, relax, take it all in. So that's where I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this in my Epcot tours, which is probably a good thing, because I tend to drone on about the same things in those tours, so I probably didn't bore you to tears as much as I usually do. So thank you for watching, guys. It's nice to see some of you that I haven't seen for a while. Ash, for instance. And Darlene, of course, and too. Kim, if you're still on, you too. Tina, love you guys. So see you in September. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you at another. Love you. Bye.